This Friday is the day the Labor Department's going to be releasing the September jobs report. Our very own Steve Leisman has gathered up some high-frequency data for a preview of what we can expect, although sometimes this data is a little better than the actual data we get from the government. Right, Steve?
Yeah, that's right, Becky. After correctly signaling the street was headed for misses higher or lower the past several months, and we'll show you that in a second, the high-frequency data this month saying that for at least this Friday, the street has it about right, and that is plus or minus. The HR software company UKG found workforce activity fell 0.1% in the survey period. That's from the middle of the month to the middle of the month. That suggests the consensus for payroll growth of around 500,000 is about right, plus or minus. The high-frequency data, it doesn't nail the number, but it does show strength or weaknesses, misses and beats that are coming, like big gains in June, you can see there on the left side of your screen, and July, and the disappointment that we found in August. The company said in its commentary that COVID and uncertainty over school schedules looks to have held back hiring somewhat. Good news is that the data actually strengthened after the survey period, that is towards the end of the month, but that's not going to be picked up in the Friday report. The HR software company Homebase found that hiring in entertainment, hospitality, food and drink, those are key industries that have led the comeback. They're weaker than they were, a sign that the Delta surge took a toll. The sectors, though, are still growing, just not providing the strong lift they'd had that got us up to 1 million jobs a month. And we asked UKG to take one more look at whether the early end of extended unemployment benefits brought people back to work more quickly, and it's just not in the data. Once again, states that kept the benefits had stronger growth. David Gilbertson from UKG tells me this data does very clearly show that the federal employment benefits were conclusively not the thing keeping people out of the workforce. While the benefits may have played somewhat of a role, it looks like getting COVID under control and the population vaccinated and getting schools reliably open are the important variables in people returning to work. And there is still, as you know, Becky, work to do in all those areas.
Steve, that was my biggest question. I thought this would finally be the month when we would say, okay, we know how many people are going back because schools are open. I guess the question remains how many schools are closed. And I know that's an issue you've looked into in the past. Is it schools open up, there's an outbreak, they have to shut down, and that leads to the uncertainty?
I think that's part of it, right? So if you're a mom or a dad and taking care of the kids, you're like, well, wait a second. Can I go back to work now reliably? Can I take a job that keeps me out of the house? And I think schools are learning to deal with this. I have to look again at the Burbia data, which we've been looking at. But as you know, I did a few weeks ago, and it showed this sort of widespread, but not very a high number of schools that had closed. And I think that might have bled into the uncertainty that might be out there among parents.